What's going on, everybody? Do y'all mind if I complain for a little bit? If you've been watching me for like a year, you know that I rarely complain in a serious manner. Like, I might jokingly say something is annoying, but I'm not like seriously complaining. But today, like, I seriously would like to complain. Is that okay? I kind of just want to talk about the state of Master Duel coming from somebody who's been playing it for like a year and a half now. I want to preface everything I'm about to say with, I think Master Duel can be great. It could be really great. But it feels like Konami is for some reason purposely restricting this game from being as great as it could be. Master Duel could be the de facto online TCG game if Konami just used their brains just a little bit. I think the best way to talk about how I feel about this game is to talk about it in different sections, because there's different aspects of this game that I find to be kind of disappointing and annoying. Obviously, meta is going to be a big one. Lack of features is going to be another one. I think those are the two major ones that I want to talk about today. So let's talk about the meta of this game. For context, I think it helps if you have context of how I came into playing Master Duel. If you aren't a subscribe to this channel and you're just kind of watching this on the whim, I started playing Master Duel about a year and a half ago. I came in obviously as one of those Yu-Gi boomers. I wanted to play Dark Magician, you know, and it took a while for me to really adjust to how modern Yu-Gi-Oh plays. And I think that was kind of my own fault, right? I can't really blame anybody else for like my initial coming into this game, because, you know, I was a boomer. I grew up watching the original Yu-Gi-Oh. I watched some of GX. So I just finished GS recently. So I came in as like the original Yu-Gi-Oh boomer. I played the card game when I was a kid. Obviously, it's like 20 years later, things have evolved. So it took me a bit of adjustment. So that's just kind of my background about how I came into Master Duel. So I have obviously since then adjusted to how Master Duel plays. I've adjusted to using hand traps. I've adjusted to what decks are the best. I've made those adjustments. So this is coming from somebody who has made those adjustments, who has made that transition from being the Yu-Gi-Oh boomer to being like a modern player. Let's talk about Yu-Gi-Oh meta. I think there's two faults here. Konami is obviously at fault for how they manage adjustments to this game. They're essentially creating a toxic meta on its own, and they failed to like address it. I think Konami is really bad at handling feedback, because I can imagine they're getting a ton of feedback about how people feel about the current meta, which is like obviously Raziel, Malice, Tenpai Sky Strikers. I don't see enough people talking about how annoying Tenpai Sky Striker is, but I've been running into that deck a lot and it's annoying. Then obviously the hand trap meta, you know, like basically going first, going second. If you go second without hand traps against certain decks, like it's GG's, or if you go first, you know, stuff like that. Like, Konami doesn't do a good job of addressing the meta issues within the game. They just don't do a good job of addressing feedback in general. They don't acknowledge it. It doesn't seem like they have a community person, at least from what I've seen. If you've seen like other games or other TCGs, there's usually, if you have like a social media, they have like a social media person that like interacts with people and kind of like gives information and takes feedback. Konami seemingly does not have that, like, at least from what I've seen. Maybe I'm just missing it, but I haven't seen them really have like a Master Duel specific person that's for the community, that's hearing that community feedback, that's passing it along. Like, there seems to be a disconnect between Konami and the people. But on the flip side of that, I think some of y'all are also the issue. Before you start getting defensive, being like, well, Konami let me explain why I feel like some of the community is at fault. Have you ever been in this situation before? You bring up valid criticism against Master Duel, right? You're like, okay, well, Ash Blossom meta is boring, or Malice is too strong, and you're bringing this up to the broader community, and their response is, you need to get good. For me, that is a response that I've seen way too often in this community, where people bring up valid criticisms and people's response are get good, or I'm using this and it's working fine. Like, people really like to diminish like actual good criticism of this game, and when you do things like that, that kind of creates a sense of like complacency And if, let's say, Konami just happens to see that for some reason, they're like, oh, this person is just complaining. So I think as a community, we can do better about kind of acknowledging when people are doing, like, actually providing critical feedback that will be beneficial for the game, and not just kind of pushing them off as to, oh, you need to get good and stuff like that. Because a lot of times those players are good. Like, you see top players talking about this. And that's one thing I will say that is great about this community, that I've been in a ton of different communities that I really don't see in this community. Your bigger content creators, as it pertains to Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG and Master Duel, they will speak up. I will give them credit. Those bigger YouTubers who play this game actively, that support the TCG, they are not shy about providing critical feedback to the game. And that is rare, at least for me, that you see that, especially when people have connections to a company. You'll see, like, people, like, let's say, I don't know, fighting games, they'll have connections to, like, maybe, like, I don't know, what's a fighting game company, like SNK or something, like, and they obviously don't want to hurt that connection. So you can tell when people are kind of like holding back critical feedback. But the Yu-Gi-Oh community, they don't give a damn, okay? Like Farfa, Jesse, like those Rhymes, he reacts, like, they don't care. They will provide critical feedback about this game. And I think as somebody who's like a smaller content creator, and even as if I wasn't creating content and I'm just like watching these people, for me, that's something I appreciate that, because I have somebody that is on a bigger platform preaching the same things that I'm preaching. And even though they might have a connection to that company, they aren't afraid to be critical of that said company. Okay, going back to my original point, I'm sorry if this seems like all over the place. I'm not great at like videos, you know, I'm just like doing this. Okay, anyway, back to my original point where we were talking about the meta. This, like, the past few metas in Master Duel, let's just call a spade, they've been boring, okay? We have Malice running rampant right now. Obviously, we have Raziel running rampant. I would say every 3 out of 4 matches are against these decks. Raziel, Malice, or some hybrid of Tenpai, whether that be Sky Striker Tenpai, I don't know, some version of Tenpai. Those are the decks that I continuously see. And what's disappointing about that, it's like, okay, how many decks y'all think are in Master Duel, right? How many decks y'all think are in Yu-Gi-Oh? Infinite amount, right? For me, there's no reason why I should continuously see the same 3 or 4 decks. Like, I get it, right? You know, people naturally are going to play what's best. But I think Konami doesn't do a great job of kind of advocating for people to, like, they don't give people enough reasons not to play the best decks. Like, a meta will always exist in any competitive sense. That will, anybody that plays any competitive game ever, you know this. No matter what you do, there will always, a meta will always be established in a competitive game. There will always be decks that are better than others. But as a company, typically, my background comes in fighting games, right? If you have a top tier fighting game character, right? The devs are going to be like, okay, everybody is complaining about this character being top tier. While we're not going to nerf this character into the ground, we're either going to do one or two things. We're either going to bring this character down to the same level as some other characters, so maybe there's like a bunch of characters that are at the same level, or vice versa, we're going to buff a lot of the characters that are at the bottom so they're closer to that top character. They might not be as good as that top character, but at least they can kind of compete with that top character. And it feels like Konami never really does that. Like, and I know before you start commenting, well, I can beat this deck with my niche deck. Yes, maybe you can 1 out of 20 times, okay? But it's not likely that you're consistently beating those decks. It's not, okay? I'm sorry. I know you like to try to flex that you're good at Master Duel and try to show everybody that you can win in Master Duel with your like tier 7 deck, okay? But your experience is not everybody's experience, okay? I'm sorry to say. You don't need to express that to everybody. We don't care. Yeah, it just starts to feel like a lot of my interactions go like this. I go first. My opponent has a bunch of hand traps. I might get something on the field. They go second. They pop Tenpai. They win. I go second. I don't have any hand traps. My opponent wins. I go second. My opponent, I have hand traps. I pop maxi. My opponent can't do anything. Their turn is done. It feels like too many things are happening in the first 2 to 3 turns of Master Duel to where like you aren't really interacting with your opponent as much as you should be, or maybe you're interacting too much. I don't know. It's hard for me to put in words how I feel about the meta, but just know I don't necessarily love it. Now, I think a lot of issue number 1 can really be alleviated with fixing issue number 2, which I personally feel is a way bigger issue than issue number 1. Because issue number 1, if you contain issue number 1 strictly within ranked modes, then I don't think as many people would really care because like they have other options. So let's talk about what I think the broader issue with Master Duel is. Master Duel released January 18th, 2022. It is September 26th, 2025. Why has there not been inclusions of multiple modes in this game already? Konami is so focused on trying to get people to buy these icons that are always trash. But there's so I don't understand the lack of modes in this game. And people will say, well, you should go to casual mode. Casual mode is literally just filled with people practicing decks for ranked. Let's keep it a buck. If you've ever played casual mode at this point in Master Duel is a mode strictly used for people going to use, they're practicing their meta decks that they want to use for ranked in casual mode. It isn't really people playing casual. It is ridiculous to me that this game does not have the option to toggle on different formats. Like, why isn't Rush Duel in Master Duel? Why is Rush Duel exclusive to Duel Links, which Duel Links is a different problem? Why is Rush Duel exclusive to Duel Links? You just announced Genesis format. I can almost guarantee you that Genesis format will not be coming to Master Duel, okay? Why is it that Master Duel is so restricted to 2? It's been 3. Let me put this in perspective. Pokemon Pocket TCG probably got more modes than Master Duel right now. That game came out last year. Master Duel came out 3 years ago. Why aren't there modes? Right now, Master Duel, you have your duel mode, which is literally casual, whatever event is going on, and then ranked. And then you have solo mode, which is like kind of just a story mode, which basically just teaches you how to play specific decks, and people just use that to grind gems. It doesn't make sense to me that there's no additional options in Master Duel to specify what format you want to do. Why are there no specialty modes? Like I said, Rush Duel. Why is everything with Yu-Gi-Oh so separated? Why isn't there maybe there's an option for OCG? Is OCG Rush Duel? I don't know. They sound the same to me. TCG. Why is there no option to play with TCG based rules? Why doesn't Master Duel have options to play in different formats with a pool of players? Maybe somebody's like, okay, today I don't feel like playing this. I just feel like playing Edison. They go into Master Duel, they click casual or whatever mode they want to click. They don't even have to be ranked. Toggle on which specific format that they want to play. It connects them to people based on that format. It reads their deck to let them know if their deck is good for this format, and it matches people with the same toggle on. Please tell me, how is that a hard thing to implement in this? That is such a simple solution to fix this game that for some reason Konami just does not implement in Master Duel. And it blows my mind. It makes no goddamn sense. And videos like this are made not because we just want to complain about the state of Master Duel and complain about Konami. When people care about something, they're passionate about seeing it get better. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! The past year and a half making Master Duel content, playing Master Duel with some of y'all, even though I'll be getting cooked, just playing the game in general has been fun. But there's things where I'm like, this game has failed to evolve at all since I've started playing it, and I just don't understand it. It's like Konami, the puzzle is already completed for Konami, and they just completely refuse to look at it. And on top of that, let's talk about these events, bro. These events are the same every goddamn time, bro. We get the same Duelist Cup, WCS, some Synchro Fusion, whatever cup, okay? Link in whatever event. Why are all the events the same? Where is the creativity with this event? The one event I thought that was released this year where I was like, oh, that's pretty unique. Konami can really build on this was that dice event they did. The event where you won a duel, you roll some dice and you move certain. I thought that was cool. I thought they could really build on that and make it more restrictive. Like you land on this is a bad space. You start the next duel with only 3 cards in your hand. Like stuff like that is cool. Stuff like that is fresh. Stuff like that is unique. And they just fail to capitalize on that every single time. And it's so frustrating when I see other TCGs, other games getting unique features, get new modes, and I'm looking at Master Duel, and y'all ever seen that meme when they be like, I just looked at this person inside? That's how I be looking at Master Duel. I just be sighing, bro, because I'll be like, I've never seen a game before where the solution to a lot of problems are so simple, like literally so simple, and they just refuse. They like, hey, bro, I know y'all asking for more ways to play this. I know y'all asking for additional modes. I know y'all asking for additional formats. But hey, in the store right now, you for 500 gems, you can buy this turtle. Like, bro, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Well, clearly it's not just me because I see other people complaining about it. But I don't know, bro. Konami like actively does everything they can possibly do to make people not play this game, and it's so annoying because I'm like, bro, Yu-Gi-Oh is so great. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh is such a great game. It's such a great show. There's so many great characters. There's so many great art card designs. There's so many great stories that can be told. There's so many different ways to play it. The community can be annoying, but the community is so ride or die for Yu-Gi-Oh that it feels like a slap in the face when I see people who've been playing this game for years, that have been playing Duel Links for years, that they've just essentially been suffering because Konami refuses to listen to any goddamn critical feedback they're given. They refuse to evolve Master Duel, even though it has the potential to be the best kind of simulation TCG game right now. I think for me, it's already better than the Pokemon TCG, like, kind of client, but I don't think it's better than Pokemon Pocket, but that's a different thing. I feel like it has so much potential, and Konami is just so complacent with just leaving it the same. I don't understand it, bro. I'd be baffled by who's ever making business decisions at Konami, bro. I'd be like, do I need to put in an application? Do I need to come fix y'all like Master Duel Yu-Gi-Oh sector? Do I need to come make these adjustments my damn self? Because y'all not. So I don't know, man. I just had to get that off my chest because they've been really bothering me lately. The meta has been frustrating me. The lack of modes have been frustrating me. And then what just sent me over the edge today, if you was wondering what sent me over the edge, seeing this Neymar car TCG collab, and I'm just like, bruh, can I get some new modes in Master Duel? You motherfuckers dropping these weak ass collabs. Oh my god, I'm done.